Go crazy.
I just simply went live. We're good.
Nice. Welcome to the channel.
Welcome to the chat. Oh God.
Yo, anyone got a good joke? Put in the chat.
Welcome to the live stream. Let's see who's all. All right, Lit Studios is the first one in here.
There's gonna be a lot of British people.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of Brits
I
because
guess.
if you guys are watching this post stream, this is currently 12:09 a.m. As you can see on my Xbox, it is finna midnight stream. But that means eventually we're gonna have some people overseas come and join us and pop in and see what's good, y'all. But let me find my stream. I lost my stream. Let me find it on here. Oh, there it is. Ooh. Alright. Alright, now I can read. Ryan Newham, thank you. Already in here. Alright, so today, this is going to be like more of a podcast, not much of a gameplay thing. I'm just going to be driving around to, I guess, provide you with some sort of content.
Subscribe to Who's Nasty Fox on YouTube and be sure to follow Zach1077 on Instagram.
Why does it
Thanks.
sound like an actual announcement?
Yes, please.
It sounds like something when you're at a freaking like
I was just
motor
doing that as
derby.
a joke, honestly.
Alright, well, before I was rudely interrupted, go download this design for my 370Z too
Wait,
because I uploaded
Nasty,
this.
how
on
the hell
my
did you make that sound like that, dude?
Yeah, that sounded
That was sick.
Alright, but
Do you have like a cup around you?
anyways, I guess we could all start out by sharing
just
what
put
time it
my-
is
I
for
just
all of
cupped
you.
my
I'm sure
hands
it's very
around my
late.
mouth.
We won't have the most of viewers, but that's okay because this stream will be going up as a YouTube video. And hello to those of you that are watching this as a YouTube video. Let's dive right into this. So what I need the chat to say and suggest is just any previous video of mine that you maybe wanted to know what it was actually like to record, or if there's any like fun facts, and what I can try and do best, and same with maybe Nasty or Zach, is just try and think back and recall what it was like, and we can kind of reflect on memories. This can also definitely apply to vlogs, because definitely like almost any vlog there's always actual moments intertwined with that, whereas like with Forza there's only like so much that kind of went down. But it's kind of like a podcast of just like stories from making YouTube videos, I guess. I have a bunch just kind of all in my head that if no one asks, I could just kind of share out. But I realized like, yeah, I've never really like reflected and like talked about
Sucking
all the... What? What?
Nasty, we don't need you to come out right now.
Huh?
Man, I think it's a little late
This
for
is the
Nasty
stream
right
where I come out
now.
as gay. It's not.
Yeah, no, it's not.
I'm like sort of excited. The fact that I got emailed back and they're actually willing to work with me, but I'm like, damn, I've never actually had this happen. So how the hell do I have to
every
respond back?
GTA Top Gear, that's a good start. Alright, back then when we did... Alright, so... Alright,
Every
let me
GTA funny
run
moments
down
video.
on the first ever Top Gear, the way how it all started. Top Gear actually started back when I was like... I'm still like in my parents' house because I'm still only 17. But back then, I was like a lot younger, and I actually had like, I guess, a quote-unquote bedtime. So we filmed the first ever one when I happened to be having a sleepover with my friend, and we were in my basement, and like we stayed up like past freaking like 12 or so or whatever, and we literally recorded that video I think at like 12 or 1, and I remember because it was so late, we literally had to keep our voices down and like try and record it silently. And all we simply did was like, I kind of intertwined like Top Gear into it because like we had like innuendos of like go making our own car and stuff, but all we really did was just like realistically like go to Mount Chiliad and I guess like do a little more role playing than I guess just playing the game period, and that's how it became more of a Top Gear style. And that was the very first one, which is going up to Mount Chiliad, or the Chiliad challenge, or whatever the frick.
Oh god, why am I blanking out right now?
But and Top Gear was like one of the like big phases that like hit this channel. There was like, it all started with like obviously early Forza and kind of whatever. Even it all also started with Minecraft. I had a lot of Minecraft series, and then I just did a lot of GTA, just GTA funny moments and stuff. But Top Gear was like a first real big hit that I had. My first real hits I had were my Minecraft Herobrine pranks, which I only did so many of those, but like Top Gear was kind of the second big hit that like kind of changed my channel into like a different audience than like just Minecraft viewers. I had like GTA people, and I remember like it was almost like so good of a hit that like almost each one I uploaded would actually like hit up to almost 100K views, which is obviously really big back at that time because I only had like probably like 30,000 subs or something. I don't know. And then I remember, yeah, I was just only like, I remember those were the only videos that would do that good. So it was honestly, I was getting so hyped and freaking out when I was uploading Forza Horizon 3. And just simply like any Forza Horizon 3 I would upload would start getting to like 100K. And that's when things were really booming and we started moving. But Top Gear overall was a lot of planning. It was a lot more work than like I guess one would think, considering that we were just kids like skidding around, but we still planned everything out and had to like organize challenges and like, you know, plan roles for certain people. I'll never forget how Terminator was literally the freaking Stig in one of them, and that's all he was there for. And freaking editing those things were a big pain. Like it was those were a lot of stuff or a lot of work. So yeah. Can you bring in Nick Boys? I don't even know. Nick is not currently on, so I guess that's a negative.
He got school. Oh wait, no.
Yo, E3 event when you met Nasty. Yo, this is gonna spawn some. We could have a long story time about E3 events meeting Nasty and stuff.
I was exactly what they expected me to be.
Yeah.
Yo, so E3
Was that
something? E3 was a goal. I don't think you guys understand how. If you guys have friends that are on Xbox and you just are all just Xbox friends, it would be like, imagine trying to organize an event where you could all be together as your group of friends, and like it was like, obviously we built up a large crew of people that we've gotten to really well know each other over a year's span. And we're all from all over the country, and we're like, okay, how the hell like should we all meet up? Like, if we could meet up, like how should we do it? And I'm like, the dream goal would be to meet up all at E3. Like, imagine if we could meet the crew or get the crew together at E3, which is it's like the world's biggest gaming convention, and it would be a perfect hub for like all of us to come together, go to the convention. And granted, we only got 3 of us there, Guy Goes Nasty and I, but with that, like, it actually happened, and that was something that we would always like look like as if, I don't know, I still can recall just looking like at the future of that as if it would never happen, and it's been done. So that's just kind of surreal in itself. But I met Gygos a year before us 3 were together at E3. I met him at Santa Monica, so Gygos was like just seeing him again, which is really cool. But E3 was the first time I got to meet up with my pal Nasty, who's here with us tonight. And what was it? Don't like try and reveal it, but just try and remind me, what was it that Gygos and I tried to do to when we first like found you? I forget what it was. It was like an inside joke.
Hey yo, can Lo come up?
Oh, okay, that's what it was. Okay.
Man, fuck you. I'm at work.
We had an inside joke of citing the same phrase from GTA 5 story mode with frickin' Franklin, and and that whole thing, and we would always repeat that to each other. And literally, Gygos and I remember we literally tried to like. As soon as like we were gonna meet up with you at the freaking convention center, we literally tried to hide and tried to literally make it so that like the first thing we would say when we just surprised upon you would be like, "Hey yo, can a loco come in your crib?" And it was like, didn't really go down, in my opinion, as good.
I said it.
I know.
Like, I carried
I know,
on, but
so
like that was like Gygos didn't say the other part or whatever. So.
Well, that was because it was just like. Yeah, it was different. It was
kind of like, oh, okay, well, damn.
But, okay, for me,
what we doing?
E3 was an interesting vibe because I freaking get, like, hella good vibes from that place. Just, it was so nice, and we're in LA, and I just love it there, and the convention center was sick and all that, and it was, like, hype, but at the same time, I was there right before I was about to have my year-end finals, and I was like missing school, doing like stuff. So like at the same, like any trip where I have to be missing school and I know I have to, it's like it's kind of like a hollow victory for me. It's like I can't be entirely relaxed, but at the same time I'm gonna try and enjoy it the most I can. But it was freaking, it was a blast. I'm trying to think if there's any like interesting things about the video. Well, okay, one of the most interesting things was finding people there, finding other YouTubers there. I remember Gygos and
I didn't get to experience
Gygos
that.
and I were in line at the briefing event, and we found a bunch of people. I saw Theo, Black Panther, in line, and I saw him by his hair, which stood out, and we didn't like acknowledge each other. I previously met him before that point, so it wasn't like the craziest thing in the world. But what was also just funny is that I remember literally like 2 people in front of us in line to go to the Xbox event was freaking Quebblecop and Azzyland, and that was just the weirdest thing for Gygos and I. They were literally just chilling there. And I remember I have like a photo or whatever when I was trying to like, or in the...
You sent me a picture.
Yeah.
You sent it to our chat, and all I see is his hair and a bunch of people. It's like, oh, yep, that's him.
Yep. Okay, so I remember we look back, and when we sit down at the briefing event, and we look back, and we realize that, Sammy, who is with Mini Lad, we notice her, and like Gygos notices her or whatever, and we're like, oh shoot, that's Sammy or whatever. And, like Gygos is almost like, he almost even wanted to go up and just meet her, period, or whatever. But what was funny is that like shortly after, I continue to look back, like I noticed that like cartoons and all of them are like kind of sitting down in that area, and I keep eyeing it, and I realize, I'm like, oh shoot, I just spotted like Mini is actually right over there. So then like, we were like right before the event, right before the whole briefing started, we wanted to like go walk back, and we were literally like walking back, but then we realized it was just kind of awkward and they were already sat down. I just didn't want to like, we didn't want to bother them while they were already sitting down or whatever. So we watched the whole briefing, we saw the reveal of the Horizon 4 trailer, and we literally waited until when everyone's all leaving the arena area, and when he was walking back, he was walking down towards us, and we waited and we planned it so that he like kind of walked towards us, and we asked him for photos. And I remember just like, it was funny because for some reason I just like forgot in that moment like how distinct his voice was. So it was such a happy surprise to hear that Irish accent, like just say, oh yeah, sure, or whatever, like, you know how he does, you know?
He's got such a mixture of accents. It's so like,
yeah,
interesting.
it was just, I don't know, it was just happy, and he was so cool. He's like definitely one of the like the idols of the YouTubers that just like lived up to everything, you know? He was just so, there was nothing awkward. It was just like completely chill. I mean, I say the only weird thing is that like, we're like asking for photos of other YouTubers. Like, we're kind of like the only, I guess, like big fanboys in a whole room of just like other YouTubers and like content creators and stuff. But, you know, you gotta get the most out of it or whatever. I remember later at E3, Gygos wanted to get a photo with Nogla or whatever, and I took it for him. But but little would I know that literally a week freaking later, I would be at the Crew 2 in a whole freaking project with Nogla, and he was just like, he was just a chill buddy there. Like, we weren't even, you know, nothing was like a different dynamic.
Gygos was trying to hunt down the gaming lemon, but like he couldn't find him or
Yeah, I
whatever.
remember that. Cause like, I mean, the weirdest thing about that Crew 2 event, Nasty, is just like, just literally witnessing like that dude in blue, David Patterson, just interact with Davi Denogla, and I'm like, these are like two of my like, these are two people I love, but like from completely different sides of the YouTube spectrum, and it's so weird to see them interact together. It was like so funny. They were both talking about like music and stuff. It was like, oh my god, it was funny. But another thing about E3 was that us three, Nasty, Gygos, and I were just walking around the court, and then they literally spot out freaking, I spot out Brian
Ken
Scotto,
Block.
but then right next to him, I look back and
I noticed Ken, and I was like,
dude, I didn't
what
even
the
hear
hell?
you.
And then you finally realized.
Yeah, I didn't
bro,
even hear you, and I
I didn't
freaking
say
looked
anything.
back,
I was like,
and
Ken.
I see freaking
And
Ken
then
Block.
you finally noticed, bro. I wish you saw the look on your
Well,
face.
dude, it's Ken
Your
Block,
eyes were
bro.
so wide open.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, it's freaking Ken
Your
Block.
eyes
So
were so wide
yeah,
open
and
when you
that's
saw him.
also how I got to meet Ken Block in that moment area too. And I think the best thing out of all is that I've had this monster hat, this old school 43 Subaru hat that I got when I was like freaking like 8 years old or something. I ordered it from like off of like eBay or whatever. It came from like Miami or something.
eBay.
And I've like had it, and I like wear it around variously, like at various times or whatever. But the one time I happened to be wearing it was in that moment too. So he recognized it. He was like, "Yo, I love the hat" or whatever. And I was just like, that was the best timing. I was like, I couldn't have picked a better time. I mean, sadly I couldn't get it signed or anything, but I don't think that even matters. It's just like the fact. I'm definitely the type of guy to like value photos with people over just signed stuff, because it's like. Signed stuff is cool, but I mean, a photo is just literally you with the person. You know, it doesn't get much better.
You add those two together, you get a photo of yourselves, and then you get it signed. It makes it even more valuable.
Exactly.
No, memories are more valuable than.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Like, it's like the fact, because like you asked like me, because I'm sure guys don't really care, but you asked me if like I wanted a photo with him or something, and I was like, nah, I'm fine. Like. It's just the fact that I'm literally standing 10 feet away from them is insane. I don't really care about pictures, honestly.
Alright, what other... Let me give us some other videos down in there. I've lost it.
I don't think anyone on your channel realizes that I've met you in person, Jack.
Yeah, because I haven't...
Because there's no vlog about it
okay,
yet.
Zach, you know what the most magical thing is, though? I found the GoPro footage.
No
yeah,
way.
when I was like, when we were freaking unloading footage at Z-Wing's place just the other night, he was like, dude, do you have any, like, I literally gave him one of the SD cards, because he needed to load his footage onto it. He needed a lot of space. He was like, yo, can I delete these clips? And I just like quickly look at it. I'm like, oh yeah, sure. And then I noticed like you and Brendan. I'm like, wait, no. Oh shoot, I actually thought I lost this. And so, yeah, and I put it on my laptop now. So, yeah, no, Zach actually,
hell yeah.
Mr. Zach 1077. I don't think it, like, the audience just can't understand, you know?
1077.
They can't understand, like, what it actually means to, like, have people in our group actually, like, meet up with one another when we don't live in the same state or area whatsoever. But, like, Zach came all the way up to Seattle, and I let him drive the 32, and so with Brennan Peachy Media, and that's all in a video. And we go freaking completely tear up a freaking parking garage with Brennan's loud Miata. So I'm still waiting on whenever I can put that in a video. I just gotta find the right place at the right time. It'll go in eventually. Hopefully by the time like my voice doesn't like change or like nothing's too different. I don't even know what we look like at that. That was so long ago because that was like in the fall.
It'll sound better with the new exhaust though. Maybe you'll have to do that as like the before.
Yeah.
It won't only sound better, it'll look better because the car is changed.
Yeah.
It's going to be changed color.
Yeah, it is going to be changed color. Oh, Stansworth. I could go on and on about Stansworth. Let me try to think of a fun fact or story about Stansworth. Alright, well, fun fact is like at the end of the video, you'll see TJ Hunt in that video, and I remember that day, TJ Hunt kind of, like, he literally, like, overtook the entire show. He freaking had lines that just spanned around the entire parking garage, and, like, we would reference it throughout the video. It's just like, oh, TJ's over there and his line and all this stuff. So, like, as the day went on, as I realized, like, we're referencing TJ Hunt in this video, and I'm sure the audience is going to be aware that he was at that show, it's like, I kind of wanted to just, like, live it up somehow. And I'm like, you know what? I feel like I got to get Tej in this freaking video. So at that point, I just, like, was really determined to actually, like, get up and meet him. Not really so much to actually meet him myself, but just to get him in my video. That's what I really cared about. And honestly, it was kind of probably another one of the coolest things was actually, like, was, I think it's Jake, or I can't remember who it is at Stansworth who works at Stansworth, but he was one of the guys that helped coordinate it all, and he was helping with me a lot of stuff. But since I knew him there, he literally at the very end of the night, TJ's line was still freaking a long, like, length around the place, but he literally, like, he knew that I was trying to like get in there to meet him like for my video or whatever. So he literally just like placed me at the very front.
Oh wait, is this the story where you got to like, yeah, you get
No,
to
he
the
literally
whole
just
line?
cut me in front of the entire line. He's like, no, yeah, this guy can go right here. He's going to go right after this guy. And he literally just put me. I think I might have been the last person, too, at his meet and greet because it was at the very end of the night. He wanted to end things off. And, like, I think I was the cutoff point. But, like, I was special and I just got to cut. And I was like, damn. And, yeah, that's how I got to just straight up meet. And I told him I was, like, the booth right overhand. And he said, like, yeah, if they're done, like, setting, like, or taking down stuff, like, he'd go check out some of the cars or whatever. But I didn't, like, we needed to go, and I had no idea how long that could have been. So I didn't want to, like, leave my odds on that. And it's probably a good thing I didn't because, yeah, we could have been there forever. It just wasn't really worth, so we kind of headed out. But, yo, if TJ ever, like, takes up Stance Wars this next year, then yeah, maybe we could go try and get him more in the videos or whatever. I'm super excited for this year just because I wanna try and bring the most out as we can. Just like get all the cars dialed in to whatever state. I know the R32 should hopefully be all, you know, like it'll be maxed out to that point with all the stuff I've ordered. But the RS, I have no idea what standpoint it'll be at because guaranteed it probably won't have the camo by then just because I can't leave it on for too long with the paint. And the paint's gonna start changing up. Since my splotches don't cover the entire car, it's like certain white parts are going to be. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Although the cool thing about rap and like me getting familiar with this is that like I could honestly, even just for like stance words, I could just throw together like a quick like I guess livery, you know, because I still have a lot of green and black, like maybe like some like cool spikes or like stripes or something that go like on the sides or whatever that like I could easily paste on. Or I'll end up like doing like a full wrap or something before then. I don't know what because I actually really like my RS in like kind of a daily state as it is. Like I was thinking about like bags and stuff, but I don't know. That's gonna be another whole cost, and that's another big job, and then that now makes it not so much like the perfect daily because that's now one thing I have to actually worry about on that car, like if the bags ever pop or go wrong. But I'm still leaving it in the air. That would be, one of my, like, bucket lists is to have a car with air. It would be pretty freaking dope. Process of getting your R32.
Professional streamer, by the way. Past, like, 2-3 minutes I've been talking, my mic wasn't hooked up to my freaking OBS. I'm an idiot.
Great job, Nancy.
Yo, dude.
So I'm
we're
sitting
at a
here
solid,
answering
like,
questions and nobody can even
300
hear me,
viewers. But I definitely get it is freaking like midnight. Feed had a good point on my R32. I guess like for that day, let me try and think. Like as the video standpoint, I remember that was just okay. Here's the comparison about the collection days of both cars. The RS was like the best birthday ever. I freaking felt so special on that day. It's like I'm going in the Ford dealership and I'm picking up like one of the best cars there pretty much. Like the only other things that would outrank that car were the freaking GT350Rs that were sitting there. And then so like I was freaking so happy.
My dream car.
And then like, you know, I drive
confusion.
in there with the freaking my 1999 Honda Accord. You know, it's like the freaking upgrade level is insane. It's a hollow victory in the sense that I can't drive it out myself because I didn't know how to drive manual at that time. So like that was my dad who's gonna take it home first, and then I'm gonna have to learn from it. But like, still,
Wait,
is like that's my car.
you had an Accord?
It wasn't mine. It was like literally what my dad happened to have at the time. His 1999 Honda Accord. That's what I learned how to drive. Period on, and we don't even have it anymore. So, but you know, So it was a hell of an upgrade. But dude, like we went to the Ford dealership. That was one of the most loaded Ford dealerships of the freaking like area too. They had freaking like Salines there, like the newer ones, the convertibles and stuff. And it was freaking lit. They had a freaking cookout barbecue. So when you're like getting your brand new car, they're like hitting you up with these like you could go out, and we just like went out and we were getting burgers and stuff at the Ford dealership. It was so lit.
Burger King
I
foot
remember
leg.
just sitting under a tent and there's like a freaking Roush and then a Saline, like just chilling here like while I'm eating my burgers and stuff. I'm pretty sure I run through this all in my video too about the RS and whatever. And then the guy who actually we first approached, actually that day we actually visited a dealership somewhere else, and then we were just gonna be like, we found another white RS there that was same spec or whatever, but we were just like, okay, we're gonna think on the deal or whatever, because it's like, yeah, I mean, with the RS, I didn't just go with whatever. Like, I had a specific package. Like, mine was kind of fully loaded, not gonna lie, with I think almost everything. Like, you know, so I wanted the
new wheels.
yeah, well, obviously I needed the black forged spoke wheels, because like I know everyone says they're stock, but technically those are still like a 1K plus add-on versus just the base rims that come on an RS. I wanted the interior RS2 package, which includes the nicer seats, the heated steering wheel, bunch of other stuff, and then I needed Sync 3 on my display, because there's just, yeah. I think all RSs had that, but anyway, there's just like a lot of little things, you know, and then obviously in white. So I just need to make sure, and then we wanted that there's only like, I think like 2 or 3 in the whole area that was like exactly the packages we wanted, and then we wanted to try and get the best deals out of them. There were some that were like, yeah, asking for way more. It was just insane. But we ended up finally, like, the second dealership of the day was the one that we were at when we were cooking out and all that stuff. I remember we approached this young kid, and I think he was like an intern or something. He was just like, he was early on the job, so he was kind of hanging with us while he had his like the actual lady later on came out, and she was actually like kind of doing, and she would be like where we do with the actual business and stuff and negotiating. But he was kind of chilling, and obviously we don't mention like I'm doing YouTube and like I'm like, you know, I got like that from like financial and all that stuff. Like you don't like mention that when you're all going in to buy a car or whatever. But by the time we were at least fully set on getting it, the dude found out, like, or he was like, oh, so you make videos, like, what's your channel? And then I kind of like had to show it to him, and then he realizes that like it was good subs or whatever. And I mean, he's freaking he subscribed. I've never seen him ever since, but I mean, who knows, he could even be watching now, you never know. And he was a cool guy, because like I just kind of like got to like talk and chat with him throughout the whole day, because there's a lot of just like business making and just a lot of waiting around, filling out papers throughout most of the day. So, but at the same time, like, even though it's boring, it's like all exciting stuff. Like, that's the most like exciting, boring thing in the world. Like filling out papers in a freaking car dealership, getting a new car. Like, nothing's more exciting than that. And that was a fun, exciting day. Driving it home, I got to follow him. I was freaking out like that's my car. Fast forward, R32 collection day. That was also, it was all surreal at the beginning. It was all like very surreal and weird. It was like, okay, we're gonna send it with this one. This was after like visiting Speedworks like countless amounts of times though. I spent I think a solid month trying to figure out which one I wanted. I always envisioned myself getting gunmetal gray, but then there was this one midnight purple one that kind of stood out and caught my attention for a quick glimpse, and I felt like, and I think I was letting my patience get ahead of me. Like, I kind of just wanted to like roll out with one already, and I was like, okay, let me just do this one. But like, it was good that I didn't do that, because I realized that, like, yeah, what I've always envisioned and where my heart was at the gunmetal gray R32. That's just like how I've envisioned its perfection. And in one shipment literally just came in, and it was like literally the perfect price point for what we were considering, and it had a bunch of other things. Obviously, it wasn't on like the proper wheel setup and all that stuff, but we knew that we would eventually change that out. And it literally was freshly imported, and that was kind of one of the problems that we'll see later on. But we literally we were chilling there that day. There was another nice hot warm day, just like the previous one. It was really chill, and we got to go out for a test drive. He kind of, did he drive it first or whatever, and then maybe let my dad take a spin? I don't know. I think he definitely drove it first, because he gave us like, I guess he kind of showed us what it was like. And that was the coolest thing too, because like, you know, when you're getting like a stock one, you know, you don't expect it to make all the sounds that it does. So that one already came with an aftermarket blow-up valve, which obviously, yeah, it now has. so like just driving it and thinking that I got some stock, like I need to build this thing up, but it already like came, like always just driving on test drive, just already hearing like the shoo sound and all that stuff. Like I was freaking, oh my god, this is actually like, it was actually making all the sounds that a freaking tuner car or a car like this would actually make, and I was getting hyped up. So I mean, that's another key part, is that we test drove it and it performed fine and we liked it. So, and then I remember we had to go to the bank and go make it and do all the paperwork. And I remember I was just like making Snapchats to my friend that day too. I was just like, it's a magical day. I wasn't telling them what. I was just telling them like, this is like one of the best days right now in my life too. And like, but then we drove it home. My dad once again got to drive this one home first, because I just like, on the first drives home, like I just don't want to like be the first one to drive it, just in case like if it's a completely brand new car that I'm completely unfamiliar with. I'd rather put it in greater hands getting all the way home, and then I could learn in the neighborhood, get familiar with it, and then I'll, you know, easily be able to drive it whenever. But it was, all the hype was short-lived, or kind of worried, in the sense that on my dad's drive home, he realized like this car, things were weird. Like it was like smoking inside, or it wasn't like smoking inside, but he like smelled smoke around, and he realized a bunch of other things at that moment like weren't working, like the air conditioning wasn't working, and what else was it? There's just other things. He also, yeah, the clutch was like, the clutch needed to be replaced. It wasn't like going well, and it's really nice because all these things have been solved at this point. Did you say something nasty?
Yes.
Yeah?
He responded back.
Your boy?
And, I guess there said to be a chair?
Really?
Yeah, from what I've read, it sounds like it, because he's like, oh, if
My boy got a
we
chair.
hope you do a
My boy
video
got
and stuff on
Yo,
it.
hella
chair.
hype, man. You just got a freaking chair. First sponsored gift.
It's really cool, but like
Go
the
for
thing
the
I'm
vlog.
kind of like iffy about is like, damn, I didn't realize me putting that would be the discount code, because now my name is the discount code.
So, that's fine.
My actual name.
Oh, wait.
I was kind of.
Oh, wait, your actual, like, full name?
I put like. Well,
Oh,
not
your YouTube name?
Not my middle name, but my first and
Oh,
last.
your
No, my first and
first
last.
and
I was confused.
Yeah, it's...
How much percent do we
Because
get?
I was like, I get asked about a discount code. Oh, okay.
Nasty, you should have been more clear. I don't know. Just take the chair. But back to rerouting. Rerouting to the story. I mean, essentially, the turbos were bad. First of all, that was the biggest issue. But we didn't even know that. You know, we had to diagnose that. When you bring your car home and it's smoking a little bit, you're just like, what the? That could be anything. That could either be the freaking heads. That could be something from the engine. It would need the whole engine. It was kind of a scary situation. I'm a freaking kid that's like too excited about bringing home an R32. I couldn't focus on the fact that like, oh, something might be wrong. I was like, oh my god, I have an R32. But at the same time, like my dad was kind of like, you know, freaking out, and I was kind of concerned. I was like, oh gosh. So that all had to be troubleshooted.
You should always be concerned when you're buying a used car.
Yeah, exactly. It was definitely a hollow victory. And I think the key points is that, like, it drove great on the test drive. I didn't notice anything. And another thing is that since I guess that was a freshly imported car from them, the guys at Speedworks didn't really, like, I guess, have chance to, like, get familiar with the car. So they wouldn't have known selling it to us if the, like, turbos were bad or whatever. Like, they helped, like, try and repay for it and all that stuff. So I don't think they were trying to scam us, you know. I think they're cool guys, and I'm definitely, I mean, I'm working with them now, so definitely cool guys. But it's like, yeah. So I think that's, I guess, to get out of that. That's my number one piece of advice for any of you guys that are planning on going for these JDM cars or anything old, you know, like when you're gonna you never know what can like go wrong or what can be the situation with these. So just definitely know what you're diving into, and especially a car like a Nissan Skyline or a right-hand drive car or something. Just always make sure you have good extra amounts in your pockets when buying it, and you're not dumping everything you got into it, because as soon as something goes wrong, then it's like, what are you going to do? You may not even have a working car.
It's a guarantee 100% you're going to have a problem with your car.
Yeah. But luckily, everything is now solved on that card at this point. The only problem is since the turbos were bad, all the smoke gunk is still all in the exhaust system, and there's just no simple way of getting that out. You can't literally reach into it. So that's why every now and then I'll do pulls, and there'll still be little light bits of smoke coming out. And my friends will be like, "Oh my!" It's funny the type of people okay, 'cause Tim is a very freaking he's all articulate and fancy and clean about things or whatever. So when I did a pull in front of him and he noticed some smoke, he's like, "Oh my god, dude, it was gushing. It was like a steam engine, bro. It covered the entire. I couldn't even breathe." And then I freaking asked how it looked to Brendan. He's like, "Oh yeah, it's nothing. It was fine." It's just the opinions on people is just funny. But anyways, leave in the chat. Well, what other videos, what other fun stories we could run through. I'm gonna leave it at a bonus story. I think this is a fun thing that any Forza audience could realize. This is definitely a good story. Is that earlier, I could just this whole trip I could make a freaking story about was pretty much the first time I flew alone or did a whole entire business trip by myself. That was earlier in the fall. And it was literally to go all the way down to LA to play Forza Horizon 4 early and get some early gameplay for you guys. So obviously, yeah, I got to play this game way earlier on back then. And that was literally I literally went there I just spent one night in LA and I literally did it all by myself. And it was kind of ambitious, but at that point, I've done so many of these trips that I kind of knew what I was in for. And I was as long as I have good enough cash on me and other stuff, I should be set.
Uber.
Yeah, and the first worry was that when I got down in LA, I remember that they hooked me up with the ride service there to pick me up from the airport. And when I got into LAX and I got down to the point of which I would be thinking about looking for people that were holding with signs to pick me up, the ride service that said my name on it or for Forza or whatever. And where I came out of at LA, I don't know if I came out of the wrong terminal or something bad for it, but I literally didn't see freaking anyone. There was only 2 people holding signs, and they were clearly not for me. And then there was just nothing else, no other way of me possibly knowing where the heck I'd find this ride service. I go out to the actual terminal pickup area, and there's freaking lines. It's LAX. There's cars after cars, taxis, stuff everywhere, and luckily enough, I had in the checklist a number for the service that they assigned for me. I called it and I said yeah, around 8:30 a.m. pickup from LAX should be assigned under this name. And the guy was no, that there's nothing exists for that time. And I was okay. So I pretty much literally I had nothing to do. And at that point I literally, I even called my parents, asked what I should really do at this point. And luckily we did set up Uber for the trip. So I just Ubered, I guess, straight to the hotel. And later on it got followed up, and yeah, I apparently did miss my ride service, which kind of feels bad, but I literally don't know how I would have found it. There was unless I had to freaking go knock on every single window out of every single car that was in the pickup line at LAX, I don't know what the frick I could have done to find that guy. Because, the ride service cars are literally just in any, black or any car. But I made it to the hotel, and then I had, my room wasn't ready, so I had, an hour or, a couple of hours, literally, until I had to go to the event to, just, chill and did nothing. I remember I think I did, Instagram Ask, and I just stalled throughout then. I tried to study my missed schoolwork, and I literally just did Instagram Q&A stuff. And then I got there, and then I Ubered to the event, and I got a solid day of playing around in the game. I remember it was at that point I think I only was able to record what then was literally the demo footage. So pretty much what became the demo for this game was what I got to record early at that point. But what's funny is that right as my hour, I only got an hour's worth of footage I was allowed to record. But once that was up, I was able to continue playing the game. And at that point, that's when like I unlocked like pretty much the game. Like I could freaking like unlock the auto show, and I was like, once I unlocked the auto show and stuff, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be busy now, because I had like all these cars to build and other fun stuff. I just cruised the map in like a Huracan, and I just like played around, and then and there was like freaking. There wasn't anyone like recognizable that happened to be there for that event. I think all Tomcat and both Air 12 were both at the San Francisco event. I literally remember like the only people that stopped by were freaking. I remember Mrs. May and Optic Diesel stopped by. Like I literally like just like remember hearing her voice behind me while I was playing. And then I think a couple other dudes. But there were a couple other gaming people, but I don't remember their channel names, and they didn't do like mainstream Forza content. But Ralph was there, kind of moderating the whole thing. Ralph Fulton, the man, the head of Playground and the head of the whole Horizon game. He was there. A couple other PR people. Lisa, who I know well, and she's like one of the really nice PR people. She was there. So at the end, I pretty much stayed until they were like taking down the whole like event place and stuff, and they like offered to like take me out to dinner with them, and I was like, should I do this? But then I was like, honestly, I don't know what else I'd do for dinner, so I just went with them. And here's where the story gets good. All right, I'm here chilling in an Uber XL or whatever. In a freaking Chevy Suburban. I got like Ralph Fulton behind me in the back seat. I got like some of the PR people. We're all just chilling. And on our way to our goddamn restaurant, the freaking Uber blows a tire. It was the most casual blown tire because it literally just felt like if the freaking Suburban like aired out or something. I just heard a little like psss. And then next thing you know, like the whole thing was wobbling. As he was trying to turn and get out of the way. And like we looked at it and the thing was like fully sheared off, blown. His freaking like rim was touching the ground. And like he seemed like he didn't even know what the frick to do. I wouldn't know what to do. But obviously you gotta like change the whole damn thing. Hopefully he had a spare. But like we were literally a walking distance from our restaurant. So we just kinda left him to it. I mean, he got us there and that's that, and we just like went to the restaurant, and it was like a Hawaiian place or whatever. It was freaking lit too. Like the music was actually like honestly a bit too loud for like restaurant standards because you couldn't like fully hear like who you were talking to, but that just made it sick. Like yeah, there was like actual bass, and the environment and everything was just really nice. And then I remember later that night I got to go to my hotel room, and nothing was just like chiller than having an entire hotel room to yourself. That was just like cool. So I don't know, it just makes me excited to just like go out and try. Obviously there's gonna be a lot more trips to come, but that was that trip. That was like just fun on its own. I remember, so I got to take the ride service that was supposed to pick me up. I got to take the same service though back, and this time I couldn't miss it because they're picking me up from my hotel, which at that point you can't really like miss the ride. Granted, I didn't know the ride that was sitting out there was actually for me because of what car it was, and it was actually sitting out there for like 10 minutes when I was just like thinking it would show up, but like it was actually just waiting there for me the whole time. And then finally I knock, I'm like, are you for me? And they're like, yeah, for Jack. And I'm like, oh shoot, because what it was a freaking like Lincoln Town car. Like it was a fully blacked out Lincoln Town car. I'm like, this is way too formal for me. I'm just a 17-year-old high school student that's literally getting escorted to the airport in the freaking Lincoln Town car, like the ultimate business car. So that was kind of like, that was another like highlight, interesting, fun thing. Because it's got like the full-on thing where it like, it's got like the roll-up window in the middle and stuff, where it's like, they give you your privacy in the back and stuff. And I'm just there with my like high school backpack and stuff. I totally felt out of place. Like I should have been wearing a suit with a briefcase. That was that. I should scroll through and now see if anyone typed in the chat.
Wait, what?
Other stories they want to hear.
Did you say my name?
You should have got them Ray-Bans and just like blacked them out, walked out, look like a celebrity.
Hell yeah, honestly. Alright, leave in the chat some other interesting stories, or not story starters, but just Maybe anything, any videos. Why does the 370Z sound like a GTR? That's a good question. Well, they both got freaking the same kind of setup. I mean, GTR's got the VR38, the ETT, whereas this got the VQs. Someone says change car. I'll finna finally change cars. I've had these GTRs been following me this whole time. I just realized that. That's a nice question. Space anus hitting with the real questions though. But yeah, if you guys can recall any video of ours that you maybe want to know what it was actually like or something, just leave them below. I'm gonna go to the Evo. I can't drift this though because it all-wheel drive.
You power slide it.
Yeah, I know. Collab with Air 12. Well, see, we already have.
It's a negative.
I know Nick is cool. I feel like people like don't think we know each other or something. I don't know why. Or just like or maybe when they say collab, they just want us to see together, like see us together more. I don't know. How I Met My Friends is that will take us like a whole nother hour. Any picture stories with the I mean picture stories, meaning like some of the shoots we've done with the cars. Yo, someone said Slendy City Camo GTA. Is there any like fun fact from that video, Nasty? Nasty, okay. I think the fun fact about that is that was genuine. And that kid literally couldn't find us when we were freaking playing City Camo GTA. And like
Slendy?
Yeah, like any like interesting thing you remember about that video?
About that video? The fact that we were driving around in my freaking Rolls Royce and he still didn't see us.
Like I mean all the stuff that we record is genuine. Like so like the fact that kid
and
literally
the fact
couldn't
that
find
he
us.
was running into the limo that we were all sitting in and still didn't notice us.
I don't freaking know how to. Someone just typed in the chat.
Bro, like you would have the.
Someone just said, "Let's see your parents."
Watch that video.
That's the most like weirdest like
What
creepy
the heck?
thing. If you want to like, you could ask like, "Yo, like, what do your parents look like?" Or I don't know. Just like the way you can let's see your parents. That just freaking sounds weird.
Hey, Mom.
No thanks.
Someone wants to see you.
All right, quick little thing to everybody that's watching. Just picture this in your head. Slendy's dad looks like Stanley Tucci.
Oh yeah, Stanley. Slendy's dad does look like Stanley Tucci. That was the funniest thing. It was funny because when I said that, I thought like that wasn't only I thought it, you know. So then the fact that like you saw it too made me like die.
Yeah. Oh, when I saw it, like when you mentioned it and you like he sent the picture or whatever, I was like, I see it. He literally could be his brother.
I was like,
he looked so close to him. It was honestly strange. But like, okay, like the whole city camouflage thing in GTA though, it's like why I always want to do city camo in that game because it's just so much more fun.
Yeah, well, we just have a lot more freedom and it's a lot more accurate. That game was way more.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because like the AIs in that game
is
100%
made for city camo compared to this game because this game just isn't. We can't. We've literally tried to go outside our lengths to try and work for you guys to make city camo work in this game because it don't be how it do. Get that photo. Hey, this is like Zach 1077 weather out here.
Guess I'll take one too.
I just think it's funny though. Like every city camo video we do in GTA, I always enjoy playing and I enjoy the hell out of editing it because I just get to go back and watch all the freaking moments.
Alright, let me know what other videos in the past Let me know some other videos that you guys maybe want to hear about or me talk about. Any vlogs or any trips or anything like that. So I need to know. Give me some suggestions in the chat. It's nice to have an Evo back. Well, okay, the coolest part about the fact that we have an Evo, honestly, I feel like it wouldn't feel that special if it was just regular bringing the Evo, but the fact that we now have an Evo with fitment, that's the cool part. Now we need a Lexus. I mean, I'll address the fact that, because this guy's asking where she is, but I will address that. Lexi and I have broken up, like a couple months ago, and then beyond that, I'm already with someone else. So I'm just gonna keep that in perspective to answer that question. Let me see what other. Okay, what the hell, dude? Space Anus is just asking the worst questions right now.
I mean, let's listen to his name.
Honestly. Can you talk about any in real life car meetups you've done? The only 2 ones that I've done myself are the 2 UltraMotive cruises, and they're becoming a thing in the sense that like a lot of my friends now ask me that are local, like, yo, when are you gonna do the next one and stuff? And like, it's kind of sick. It's like it's definitely bringing our image out. But yeah, it's kind of dope because I literally the second one I hosted was kind of for Zach to kind of like bring him out to the kind of Pacific Northwest friend group that I have in the cars around here. Because there wasn't even anything going on that weekend anyway, so it was nice to be able to do that cruise. And both of which so far have gone absolutely great. It's really nice. I think I try and I keep them well organized. I keep the routes and the start and the finishing spots really making sure that they'll work out. And yeah, I don't last second plan them or and I think, and the coolest part about my cruises is that the people that join are yeah, they're not going to be the coolest builds or the coolest cars in the world, but they're all we're all kind of the younger genre, because since the people that are hosting it us are we're all young, 18 or 17 year olds, the people that we have come along, they're all just cool people that we're all just respectable. No one's no one freaking over revs except for maybe that one Volvo SUV.
Yo, slow down, Jack. Trying to catch up.
What?
Trying to catch up real quick.
Okay. Come on. There you are. Except for that one Volvo SUV that on the second one. I remember he was revving his freaking.
Oh,
he was revving that a lot. But no one's freaking
that
everyone's cool, and the coolest part. I mean, the coolest part about the second one was when everyone caught up and we all went in the tunnel, and that was absolute madness. Yeah, everything was
the
so
AMG.
loud. Yeah, Anthony's car was freaking. Oh, that sounded great. And
so loud. And then Tim's car too.
Yeah, and then there was that freaking Mustang that a dad and his kid. His kid was a fan, but his dad owned this freaking insane Boss Mustang. And I mean, it was cool to see him. He was really enthusiastic and enjoying the environment and stuff. And to show up on a rainy day and stuff, it was just we had a decent turnout for what it was. And I definitely got to plan myself and set up for another UltraMotive cruise. There'll definitely be another one to come, but it's just a matter of when. It's hard to plan stuff out these days in the winter and get people to come out. I definitely want to do another one when my R32 is sounding freaking awesome, because that'd be a fun time. But yeah, that's all. I've never hosted any actual meets, although except for the UltraMotive cruises are a meet at the beginning and then an actual cruise afterward.
If it wasn't raining, the area that we started would have been really cool, but it was just so muddy and stuff.
Yeah.
I was
are you going to St. Louis Auto Show? Well, I don't live in St. Louis, so I will not be attending that. Have you been to places like Japan or Hawaii? Those are I've been to Hawaii, but I've not been to Japan, and I always want to go to Japan. I can tell my true desire is to go to Japan, because the one place I will always consecutively find myself in my dreams at night are in freaking Japan. I think I've found myself in Japan probably 5 times now. I mean, I was just there like one of the other nights the past week in my dreams. I remember I went to a McDonald's there, and we got like, I remember like ordering pancakes and like a strawberry smoothie, and I was with my 2 friends from school. It was really weird, but I was in Japan. I think that was because that night I was probably like freaking watching nothing but Japan vlogs from Tommy F, yeah, and Jack Cecile, and pretty much all the boys, Dustin, all the guys that went to freaking JP. But I'm still like, yeah, I'm half Asian, but I'm pretty much like an American. So I mean like I don't know any Japanese, and I couldn't read anything, so I would need to go with someone that at least could like get me around and stuff. But honestly, I might even plan like maybe if I find the right people that would take me with, maybe even freaking next year. My friend Mark, who literally just went this past year, honestly even offered like, yo, we should totally go. I take it with a grain of salt, because it's just like whenever friends are like planning it years ahead, like, yo, we should totally go this, and like, you know, it's a huge trip. But honestly, I mean, it's a possibility if he's like willing to bring it out. I mean, he just got his Need for Speed ATTK D test car R34. He has the black R34 that I got to drive, and he also has a freaking Aventador or Gallardo. He's also good friends with Charles, he's been in a lot of content eyes recently, because he has a 900 horsepower track spec R34 that he used to have in Vancouver, but he now currently has it in Japan. A lot of people have been making like videos and stuff on it, like Dustin Williams and stuff. So yeah, it'd just be cool to like tour around, explore everything. I'd love to go to the Nismo Omori factory, the Mines factory. And obviously, I would go there for Tokyo Auto Salon season, because that's just like my next newest bucket list show that I want to attend. Like after going to SEMA, I'm like, okay, now I gotta go to Tokyo Auto Salon, because that's like genuine JDM SEMA. And yeah, I don't know, just freaking Japan and cars is so cool. Everything about it, like literally, there's a place where you can go, and there's literally nightly car meets like every night at this one area. It's just like the car meet area. And it's so freaking sick.
You can go somewhere and there's drifting every day too.
There's freaking Up Garage.
And like
Up Garage is the most magical invention I've ever freaking heard. It's literally a store that like you could get parts, used aftermarket parts, just lying around, and you could literally see them in a store. Like I don't think people realize how cool that is, because technically you shop all your car parts online. That's where you order everything. But imagine going to like a freaking Target, like equivalent of a Target, but instead of like freaking toys and other items on the shelf, there's literally exhaust pipes, WRX bumpers, freaking whatever you need that's just chilling there, and you can just get it free-handedly. It's freaking sick. And then there's this one place in Tokyo that's like the freaking Godzilla theater or whatever, and it just looks insane. It's like got massive Godzilla on top and all that. I just like, I gotta go there. That's literally where I'm destined to be. Me trying to watch you and Nasty's stream. Dude, respect if you're watching both. I don't know what the hell is going on in Nasty's right now. He's probably just listening to me.
I'm just answering. No, I'm just answering questions.
Oh, okay. You're muted. That's good.
Like I've been muted, but like I've had someone like complain about you being too loud, so I just turned down the audio sound a little bit, but they can still hear you.
Yeah,
I think.
exactly. Well, they don't even need to if it's your stream and you're answering questions. I feel like that's just like getting through. How did you get the Rumpo ideas? Because they're very funny. That's a good freaking question. I think like when the Rumpo came out in Grand Theft Auto, we all kind of realized like when we all got ours. We just probably had a night where we all bought a Rumpo and we all like joined up together. And if you don't know, I've had 2 previous series in GTA where I've done Sand King Madness, and that's where we try and get as many Sand Kings as we can together. And we go cruise off-road. And then I brought it back up when the Dubsta 6x6 came out and called it Dubsta Madness, because I'm like, this is the next big thing to a Sand King. Funny that the Dubster 6x6 is actually smaller than a Sand King. I don't know how that works, but I mean, it is. Anyway, when the Rumpo came out, I'm like, and we all got together in it, I'm like, okay, this should be the next big one, because this thing is freaking sick. I don't know, the van, lifted van on that spec is just dope. I think the funniest moment by far, did we get this on video? We got it on video. Yeah, it's in one of them. The funniest moment was when Nick, freaking, we told everyone to go buy Rumpo. We told Nick to buy Rumpo, and he shows up in the Weasel News van. Because technically that's a Rumpo, but like it's not like the lifted Rumpo, whatever, I forget what the lifted one is called, but he just showed up in the regular van.
Rumpo Custom.
Yeah, and not the freaking like loaded one. That was the Rumpo Madness one. And that made us die. It's just him showing up in a little Weasel News van. It's there. I gotta freaking, I should rewatch those. I remember one of the intros, we all, like, someone kept on dive bombing in that area, too. There was freaking, like, jet crashing and a bunch of stuff. Those were definitely the good days, I won't lie.
Alright, well, your boys, I'm gonna hit the bed just because I don't want to be late for that date tomorrow.
Alright, man.
So,
you enjoy that.
yeah.
Everyone wish Zach luck. He's got a date with
night,
Destiny
everybody.
tomorrow.
Yes, except, yeah, that's not our name or anything.
Well,
but, yeah.
I mean, I'll leave it at that. You don't want to give him too much info.
Date with Sharkeisha.
Yeah. Alright, well, good night, everybody in the chat.
Oh my god, someone in the chat even remembers the Weasel News Day. You guys got good memories.
I guess.
See ya. Thank you, boys. I'm trying to think. What's another highlight? What's just freaking... What's a good video? I remember when I went to the UK earlier this fall for the recreating Forza Horizon 4 in real life. Pretty much, they flew me out to their very own Forza Horizon 4 festival. I remember flying in, and then immediately, oh my god, Alex Jones, thank you so much. Immediately, I don't think what people realize is just flying around the world is just the time differences, how much they kick in and how much they have a flaw, especially if you're there for something business oriented and you have to be at places at certain times and you can't just sleep and get your extra sleep when you need to. I flew in, we got to the place, and then I guess we spent like a whole kind of first day just like chilling and relaxing. And then I remember I took a nap in the middle of that day. Once I got to my tent, I literally took a nap. And, cause I needed to just freaking regain sleep when I could. And then that, I woke back up and it was dark outside. And I tried to capture this in the actual video itself, because you'll see in the intro, it's like, you know, we fly there and then I just kind of wake up in the middle of the night. And this is exactly like kind of how that happened. And like, I wake up, it's dark, and I look outside and I realize like all the tents are set up, it's all lit up, there's like sparkling lights, and then there's this main tent that's far over, and like I'm still like in that moment when you just like first wake up and everything is kind of like blurry or whatever. So I slowly like walk over and walk into this main tent, and it's like a freaking party. It's kind of like, you know, one of the Forza Horizon hub tents, you know, but there's like actual people and stuff in it, and it's a real night tent or whatever. And it was just the weirdest scenario waking up because everything's still a blur. And I remember like just and I point out and I like noticed like familiar faces around in that tent. It was like, I remember there was like Super GT. I remember finding my boy Tomcat in there. But there were some other like familiar faces. It was weird seeing like I kid you not, Ali A was there that night. He was in that tent. And it was just, I think that was the weirdest moment of my life. I'm waking up in the after a nap, like freaking all blurry, and I'm in the UK, and it's like freaking dark out, and all of a sudden now I'm at this festival now. It's like everything's a festival around me. I go inside this tent, and then I'm freaking like with Ali A's right over there. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And that was just a really interesting moment. I didn't really want to go like talk to him or whatever, and I just knew the only thing I knew is that yes, he was a meme at that time point. But it was just that was funny in itself. And then that event was that was another highlight trip. That day where we actually like did stuff was an incredible day. I mean, this is a day you like talk to your children about. I don't think you could ever like plan a better best day ever if you tried. It started, let's build this ground up. All of this is in the vlog, but like in terms of describing it to you, we like woke up intense. We got like a yummy breakfast. They had like French toast, but it was made from like food trucks. Like all of our food at that like quote unquote festival was provided by like food trucks that they just had like stationary over there. And then we all have to get inside the Land Rover Defenders, and they take us to the castle, the Goodwood Estate, which, by the way, it was weird seeing those Defenders, and I noticed it was a manual transmission. It was just really weird to see the old guys driving it in manual. I'm like, yo, that's kind of sick. And we get to the estate. They kind of intro brief us. I see that the Senna is there. All the cars are there. And then it's pretty much like a school day where it's like you get stations, except for like they're pretty much like the best stations ever. Like, first station that I got to go to was the really old Land Rover Type, I think they're like Type 2s, or I forget what they're called. They're the really, they're the really old Land Rovers. They were, I believe, 1960s. And I didn't know that most people, it was literally options like, okay, would you like to drive one of the Land Rovers, go off-road, or would you like to ride? I really didn't know what I was signing myself up for when I said drive, because these things were manual. Freaking definitely oldest car I've ever driven and probably ever will driven. It was like, if you could just, I mean, you could see it in the video. I was so scared. I literally thought like there's a chance that something's gonna go wrong here. This thing it's so old. This is just so sketchy trying to drive this around. But pretty much like that morning, I had like a morning tour of just off-roading in like a Land Rover Type 2 or whatever, out in the morning, beautiful British scenery. And then we go to Station 2, which is a hot air balloon ride. And we literally just got to go up and down. I remember my boy Legion was in our group on that, and he was freaking not about that life of going up in the hot air balloon. He was just, I think he definitely has something on heights or whatever. We're trying to convince him to go, and he was like, nah. And then Station 3 was a ride in a bunch of McLarens to the next checkpoint. So like, okay, I was smart. I chose the freaking bright, flashy orange 720. That was like the best car out of the other ones were 570s, and there was another 720 or whatever. And the guy that drove me was freaking dope. He's actually one of the designers that works for McLaren. And obviously, yeah, his job, he gets to literally just drive around McLarens. And funny enough, like, his boss was actually a dude I saw earlier in the year at California. Anyway, you probably don't care about that, but he was a cool dude. The ride was awesome. There were a couple moments when we were launching that, like, you know, I think the cool thing about automatic cars is that they can shift up and go so quickly that it just like kind of takes your heart away, in the sense that like once you start going so fast and you don't know when he's gonna stop, that like adrenaline rush just hits you, and that's like probably one of the craziest feelings, because that's when you know you're like really going fast. And I at least achieved that a couple times in the 720S, so that was nice. And then we got driven to the next checkpoint, was a freaking rally car ride along with freaking Tanner Faust. He was one of them. And I was lucky enough to slide myself into one of the rally cars where Tanner was the selected driver. And I got to find myself riding in a true authentic rally Subaru. in a freaking, like, it was literally a rally course essentially set up to simulate the 4 seasons of Forza Horizon. So, like, in it, there was, like, fake snow, like a fake snow area where we'd go through a fake snow forest, and then a summer area. And then, and it was nice because I think all of this was it was all taking place on, like, a really nice, sunny, beautiful day in Britain, which I guess since Britain is like Seattle, it's like, it's really, it'd usually be, like, really unlucky to have a really nice, beautiful day out there in Britain, and I'm sure you Brits would know that. So, yeah, it just really, like, enhanced the day. And after the rally ride along, oh, by the way, fun fact about our drive is that they have these little, like, birds. They're known to be really dumb. I forget what they're called, but they literally just waddle around the area in Britain. If you guys are British, you probably know what I'm talking about. And one of them literally walked along and waddled along in the middle of the dirt course that Tanner was giving me a ride along on. Sorry. And there was a jump drift. Or not a jump drift. Freaking not a, just a rally jump in the middle of the course. And Tanner jumps the car and we're flying, and literally right as we land it, we notice the birds, and there's no stopping. Like, he didn't even think to stop because you just can't at that point. And we straight up, like, ran over the bird. We definitely took out a bird. And I tried to capture that in the freaking video. You'll notice it. But I think the craziest moment is, like, Tanner and I both just look at each other. And we're freaking... we're just like, did that just happen? Like, that freaking just happened. And, yeah. That was just the fact that we literally ran over and killed a bird in the middle of my ride along. That was definitely a highlight. But apparently, yeah, they're worthless birds, so that's what we heard. Have I ever had someone road rage at me? Not really. Not straight up road rage. Obviously, like, I think I've, like, you know, every now and then, like, you do a mistake where, like, someone has to honk at you. I never honk, and I never road rage at people. I find it silly. Like, obviously, if someone's literally not moving for the longest time, you might need to honk it. But, yeah. I just find it silly to actually road rage at people. I think I usually keep a good temper on things. Let's see, who's still... I'm losing my voice at this point. And...
Bro, I managed to fall behind in reading, and I'm trying to catch up, and it won't stop. I can't catch up. I'm trying.
On what? With your chat?
My chat. I explained, like, the whole story about, like, me joining the crew, and I went, and someone was like, you didn't read my question. So I went back up, and I was like, oh, well, I feel bad now. So I read it, answered it, and I scrolled down, and I was like, damn, I missed a lot of stuff. So I'm scrolling through, and I'm trying to catch up, and it's hard.
Trying to keep up. Oh, someone reminded me to change my car. Good call. I'll do it. I need to keep my voice up, though. Alright, what should we do? I don't know what I want to drive. Oh. Oh, series. There we go. They're in series. Yeah, you see that? That is literally what I freaking drove. Oh, nasty.
Yes.
I have a limo now.
Oh, did you buy one?
Yeah, after all that work, I just need to buy one like that.
Yeah, I hate this game. It's like, it's as if they watched the video and they're like, oh, yeah, let's put this in the shop.
Oh, yep, someone's got to comment it. Didn't know you guys stay up this late. Well, you know.
Alright, time to catch up again. I'll be right back.
Oh, wow, this man. Bruh. Alright, we finna hit it with that SB. You had updated that you had your Nissan stolen and some other car was left behind your house. What was it? Oh, what? I'm not sure what you're saying. I had a dream. I had a dream and I tweeted this, and then maybe this is where you're getting it from, but I had a weird dream that that my R32 got stolen. And it was kind of a nightmare, but I think the weirdest part of the dream is I remember, like, I got, like, I think, no, whoever stole it, like, replaced it in the garage with, like, a freaking tan-colored S13 notch. And that's just the weirdest, like, I think that's the weirdest part to me. It's kind of funny. So they literally, like, replaced it with an S13 in there instead. They're like, okay, I'm going to steal this, but here you go. But it was just a dream. And it was definitely a nightmare. I was, like, so scared when I woke up, because... like, if that actually happened, I would, yeah, I'd be freaking out. Yo, thank you for buying a hoodie, Mr. Yeet, if you bought a hoodie. Them hoodies going out fast. Alright, entertain me. I'm looking at this chat this time, so. Wide body SV? Well, they don't have... they don't have the wide body kit for this car, but they have the Liberty Walk kit for the regular Aventador. I have one of your shirts and it's signed by... Yo, Reggie, thank you so much, man. I hope you like the shirt. I mean, yeah, all signed by me. I can't say I remember exactly signing which one because there was a bunch, but that's pretty dope. Thank you so much for getting one. My voice is slowly going away. I am recovering from a sickness, so that is why I can only talk for so much. Have any tips for drifting in FH3? Make sure your traction control is always off. You're obviously in a rear-wheel drive car and you got a lot of power, but honestly, from there on out, the best way to start is try and do circles and drifting, like small donuts or circles, right? And then slowly try and get wider in your circles and try and make really wide donuts. And if you can hold really wide donuts, that's a good way to get a feel for things. And then you could start trying to actually drift other corners and stuff. That is a good Top Gear top tip. What's the best all-rounder car? I mean, that could apply in anything, like in Forza or whatever. I think, I love my Focus RS. I think it is the perfect, if not best daily that anyone can have. I've been in all my friends' cars and my friends' BRZs and my friends' M3s. I've been driven, been ridden and all that stuff. But as cool, as respectable, and as much I love them, I'll always be happy to come back to my RS as my daily car. It's like, even a freaking Lambo is like a cool experience, but like it's not like on a day-to-day basis to literally own one. I mean, I'm sure you guys would like love to, but in my opinion, like the RS is just all I need. Granted, mine is a little flashy with freaking camouflage, and I kind of wish it was a little more just on the low. But yeah, no, it's like, I think it's just the interior I love. It feels great, and you could always just floor it and have some fun with it whenever you want to. Just at least you're a bit bored, you know. That's like, it's got the manual, it's got everything you need, and it's perfectly fast enough to me. It's like yeah. I'm not a guy that really cares about crazy speeds, so. And you could always even make it faster than it already is, you know, if you really needed it to. I mean, I think the coolest part about it is that it pops. So that's just like one thing that's entertaining to find yourself doing, is that like when you can do a pull, it's something about like, oh, will it pop? Like if I give it enough gas, like just giving it gas and then waiting for the pops afterward. Like, it's like, it's nice to have a car that does that, because it'll just entertain you when you're driving, just making popping sounds and stuff. It's just fun. That's like where the fun of driving comes in. How was your childhood? That's such a like broad question. I think I've been fortunate enough to have a really, really, really good childhood over most things. Like, I can't think of one thing that I didn't really have that like most people. Okay, maybe cable. I think that's like, I guess, a common thing. I mean, I never had cable, so I can't ever relate to freaking like Like freaking Cartoon Network, I never had that. SpongeBob, my whole SpongeBob is based on like me at hotels. Whenever we would be at hotels, I would be able to flip on Nickelodeon, watch it from there. Or it used to be on Netflix for the longest time, and I just watched the entire saga from there. But, I mean, let me try and think what other like childhood innuendos. I mean, other than that, it was like my childhood was freaking Curious George, Backyardigans, freaking, it was a lot of, I didn't video game that much when I was like really little until I like started like later on, but I started on all like the racing games and stuff like PGR3, PGR4, early Forzas and stuff. That was kind of my childhood. And in school, and it's all funny because in school I always wanted to be like better than I was. I was never like the popular kid. I was always in my own kind of niche group. The longest time I honestly thought I was really ugly growing up too, and it didn't help that when I started my YouTube channel and I finally like got comments, all my feedback was mostly negative. I really never got any feedback. My only ever positive feedback on my looks was just from my own parents, but it's like, you know, you can't really like, that's clearly biased. So I always thought, I was like, okay, but then, I mean, everything's kind of flopped at this point. Like, I've gained a lot more self-confidence. I realize that when I'm with the right people, those are people that give me the actual good opinions on where I, you know, what I look like, and they've like obviously like said positive things. I'll be honest, mostly girls, and that's where I realized, like, I feel like, yeah, it's like you can't listen to an opinion based on just a bunch of little male kids that think they know what they're talking about or something, when they're like, and they like comment whatever without feeling anything on like looks and stuff. Versus like actual true friends will, like, you know, tell you what you need to know. You just need to surround yourself with the right people. And now it's like being a senior in high school, everything is also completely different. I'm the freaking kid at the high school with the freaking camouflage RS I'm the YouTube kid of the high school. I mean, it's also, yeah, it's like very few people that are as big as big on YouTube as I am are still going to school. Most people, when they hit this level, leave and then pursue YouTube full time or even drop out of high school. I'm taking a year off. I know that I'm gonna at least pursue high school till I graduate. I'm gonna do that. But at the same time, yeah, now I'm more like, kind of like, I've gotten way more up there in the high school rank, and now I'm tall too. I always wanted to be like taller, and now I'm like tall, actually tall. And yeah, a lot of things have just kind of like built up to where they are now. I think definitely like YouTube has, where I've gotten to be on YouTube has definitely helped with like self-confidence and everything, and I don't really have to worry about much anymore, but that's very like fortunate and nice, and I thank everything for that. Oh my god, there's a bunch of girlfriend questions here. Well, someone says, do I have a girlfriend? Yes, and someone says, when did you get a girlfriend? And I mean, like the most recent one, I guess, if that's what you're asking, would be just over a month ago. I haven't made any videos and whatnot. I'm not sure how I feel about like still going through like early relationships. Kind of like putting them out there on the channel and whatnot, because it's like, it's also like, you know, all the audience and stuff has to like catch on to it as well. It's just like, you know, it's like certain personal life things you kind of keep more to yourself. It's kind of good that way sometimes. Jack, so close to 1 million. Start playing the Grand Tour game. I barely know anything about the Grand Tour game. Actually, what would you guys think if I made a video on it? That's kind of interesting. What happened to Funniest Pigeon? I spent a whole night just talking to him. He's still alive, but he's just off doing more school things. He is literally a freshman in high school, believe it or not. He is probably younger than some of you. But then again, a lot of you guys are young too. But he's literally a freshman in high school, and he's just doing a lot of school stuff, and he doesn't get on as much. But mainly, you guys know him from Forza Horizon 3 and stuff, but he never got Forza Horizon 4, so he literally can't play with us right now. It's a matter of trying to convince him to get that game. If you guys want, you could all go comment on his YouTube channel and go buy Forza Horizon 4. But oh damn, Ryan, Ultra Gamer, dude, everyone has to go through rejection, man. Don't let it get you down. Can you do a collab with Black Panther? Yeah, that'd be, honestly, I think Theo is one of the few guys I have not yet to work with. And that should happen one of these days. How old is he? Let me calculate. I don't know how old you'd be if you're a freshman in high school, but if you guys can figure that out. I'm about to enter high school and I'm an extremely shy person, so do you have any things to tell me coming from a senior? That's a goddamn good question right there, man. I think one of the things that's like, I think one of the things I don't feel anymore, and I think that's just because, like, the person I'm lucky enough to be, and that's just, like, my image or whatever, is that I don't feel weak in instances when people are trying to, like, convince me to do something, like, especially at certain points in, like, your high school life when you're going to be convinced to, like, do freaking bad things, you know, like, peer pressured or whatever. Like, for me, like, I think just because people know I'm the money-making YouTuber with the cars and this, like, people don't really, like, it's not as easy to just freaking, you know, scale me or whatever down. And so, and I at least feel myself, like, I don't feel weak if I had to say, like, okay, no, I'm not going to do this or whatever, like, in front. So, like, in fact, if anything, on people, especially, like, when it comes to, like, doing bad stuff, like, I literally just look down on them or whatever and just conform into other things. I just kind of realize that I'm and I feel like the feeling that I have, you don't have to have, like, you know, a crazy YouTube channel. You don't have to be a crazy, like, yeah, you don't have to have all the things that I have just to feel that. I feel like if you could just get yourself in that mindset, then honestly things would be a lot better. And what I, like, say to you is that, like, yeah, don't, like, let other people, like, push you around or whatever, being a freshman in high school, and don't fall into traps of doing bad things and stuff like that. Just, yeah. And literally, there's just, like, just don't feel, you shouldn't have to feel, like, freaking worse than them for not doing something. As long as you yourself realize that it's for the benefit, and it's literally, there's no good side of doing things like that. But, like, I think, I mean, to any shy person, though, you can't just go out and be outgoing and start, like, you know, talking to girls or whatever without, like, probably run into many cringy instances. You're probably going to do a lot of cringy, weird things that you're going to look back on. But I think that's just a part of life, and that's just part of growing and learning and realizing what not to do and what to do. And I think that's something that you can only literally discover, and I can't advise you. And that is what I would say to that. Yes, I watched the Teletubbies when I was little. Could you change to a quieter car? Will do. Let's see, what's quieter? Something not as high pitched as that annoying V12. Let's see what the heck is going on here. Is Nasty still here? Feed is still chilling. I haven't driven the GTC for Luso. How deep is Stormy Daniels? I don't know the projected deep elevation of Stormy Daniels, but by Stormy Daniels you're referring to the quarry mine.
So, these speed zones that you've been absolutely nailing, do you reckon you could teach me a thing or two?
For people starting new channels, just upload what you want, stick with it, and you'll build a community around it. That is precisely accurate. Definitely do what you want when you're starting a YouTube channel. Honestly, it's super pathetic, people that start, like, that are playing a lot of Fortnite thinking that they're going to get somewhere. Because number one, if they literally say, like, they're going to play Fortnite and try and become big, like, they're clearly doing Fortnite because they know that it's, like, trendy and popular. But at the same time, it's just like, yeah, just do what you freaking want, and it's just kind of annoying. It's like, yeah, it's most likely not going to happen. This car is weird to drive. This car is massive. I I like you, but you're a noob. Thank you, my guy. We're all noobs. Jack, high five the cam. Bam. High five the face cam right there. Still loud. All right. Yeah, this is a V12 as well, so we might as well give ourselves something lower. What is not as loud? Okay, C63 AMG. This is kind of loud too, but this is like a lower V8 pitch. Thank you, Lucas Sloan. Okay, this should be way quieter. This sounds good, actually. Holy hell. Based off my boy Vader C63. Use a Tesla. Well, they don't got Tesla in Forza Horizon 4. Do a dab on the cam. Bam. It's not 100% dab, but it's like a 50% dab just now, alright? Man, Jack, your voice is deep. I'm recovering from a sickness, and I've hit that puberty, which that happened a long time ago, so I don't know where you've been, but yeah. Sounds like it's farted. Yeah, I can see it. I still love the sound of AMGs, though. I'm not going to deny that. And these things, this is like a true German muscle car right here. I don't know what the heck that guy's rims are, but... Nope, still loud. Please just choose a freaking electric. Not gonna happen, fam. You're gonna have to deal with it. What happened to Slam Papa? I don't know what Slam's doing these days. He was... I really don't know, honestly. I mean, he's never been in our Forza stuff, so you can't expect that, but... Yeah, I gotta freaking get Slam back in a video. We gotta be doing something. He's quite the character. He's had some of the best GT... He's highlighted some of our best GTA 5 moments. The best moment was Slam Papa, and I implemented this from someone else's POV because I couldn't record this myself, was when Slendy was trying to call Slam to get online and join us for a GTA 5 Halloween skit, and Slam's sister picked up. But the funniest part was that Slendy kept on talking to her, and he didn't realize that it was Slam's sister. He thought it was still Slam because they quote-unquote kind of sound the same. Slam still has the high-pitched voice. And the best punchline was when she said, I don't know what you're talking about. This is Nicholas's, yeah. He was just saying it's Nicholas's sister. And she just said, like, yeah. And we were all freaking rolling when freaking Slendy realized that he was talking to a girl pretty much the entire time, not Slam. And, yeah, those are good times. Jack, what is your loudest car? I don't know, but hopefully I can make the R32 my loudest car in real life. How come you have no license plate? Cause, man, you just run no plate, fam, you know? Alright. Anyways, it's definitely late, and I'm sure this is about the time when all the British people are waking up, maybe tuning in on the stream. But anyways, I'd say with that, I'm gonna slowly end it off. Thank you for the 200 and some people watching this, and I'll probably do another stream in the future. These are kind of like a podcast, but I don't really want to call it a podcast because that makes things sound boring. But more like a talk and share stream.
It wasn't really a podcast. This is like sort of like a Q&A.
Yeah, it's like a Q. Well, yeah.
Most of them
yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to. Maybe I'll do it another time when the chat's more active and I could get like more good suggested video moments, because I love like explaining. I think I just came up with the idea earlier, and I was like, you know what? I have all these great stories and conversations I would tell friends, and I'm sure Nasty knows all of them by now and all this stuff, but like, I never just share them with the audience, and I feel like it's just honestly pretty fun to just be that guy where you literally get to just share a bunch of fun stories, because looking back at all the vlogs, it's like, there have been a lot of crazy moments and fun stuff that we've like done. And then not only the vlogs, just explain if we could like really remember recording some of the most OG videos. Like maybe future live streams we could, you know, go through some of our cars recreations and kind of talk about like any interesting challenges or stuff we had behind the scenes on filming some of them and let you guys know. But I'll save that for another future live stream, and we'll end this one off tonight. Thank you guys for chilling with me, and leave a like on the video. Don't forget to do that, and comment down below maybe some future ideas. And this will be JackUltraMotive signing it off.